He is the Pro Football Hall of Famer from the Green Bay Packers way back in the day. Obviously, Vikings as well. But for the subject at hand, he's perfect, and he's our friend, and he's Brett Favre. How are you, Brett?
I'm good, Rich. How about you?
I'm hanging in there.
Didn't you just have a 50th birthday party?
Well, it's coming up, Brett. It is coming up. Big 5-0.
Some people are not looking forward to, that birthday. Are you?
Mm-hmm. You know what, Brett?
You are.
It's something that I've been told is just a number. It's just a number. You're not too far away from it, too, yourself, are you?
No. You and I are just a couple of months apart. Mine comes not. I'm like you. First of all, it is what it is. You can't do anything about it.
That's true.
But, do I feel 50 or almost 50? No. I don't know if that's good or bad. I assume good, but, you look good. Looks like you keep yourself in good shape.
Thank you,
I
Brett.
think nowadays people tend to take better care of themselves anyway.
Well, you're more advanced anyway than me, Brett. I mean, you're in the Hall of Fame. I'm not. I just talk about it, and you're a grandfather, Brett. I mean, you're way down the road in terms of things that human beings have done.
I'm old, man. In some respects, I'm very old. In others, maybe not so much. But hey, just whether you're in the Hall of Fame or not doesn't make me any younger than you.
I know. So I just wanted to pick up the phone and, obviously Mooch, I don't know if you saw what he had to say on the NFL Network over the weekend about Bart Starr. It was tremendous. It was typical Mariucci, just pouring his heart out that he wears in his sleeve for a guy who he would watch through a chain link fence when he would drive from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to go watch Bart Starr practice with the Lombardi Packers. And I'm wondering what your recollections are of Bart Starr. I just throw it open to you, Brett, on the passing.
I don't know what else you can say that hasn't been said by so many people, and obviously all those things are, tremendous personality, character, integrity, nice, thoughtful, and all those are true. He was a little before my time as far as watching him play and remembering him like I do Roger Staubach, who was my childhood idol and who I emulated. But, I've said this so many times, when I was traded to Green Bay, I wasn't real sure where Green Bay was, but I was for certain. I knew who Bart Starr was. I knew what he stood for. I knew that he quarterbacked the Packers in what would be, as they could say now, the glory years, and just was an icon. I knew that. I knew Paul Hornung. I knew Willie Wood and Willie Davis. I knew all those guys, who they were and what they had done. And so when I got a chance to meet Bart, and I don't think it was in all honesty, I don't know the exact time. I can't remember if that was, prior to the start of the first season, somewhere. I don't remember, but I do remember Bart would always go out of his way to come say hello. And I just thought to myself, this is crazy. Why would he want to talk to me? And, just a very humble guy. And, one thing that he did, and you may or may not have seen this, but he always would send me a personal letter after I accomplished, something, not necessarily something of any magnitude. It may have been my first win. It may have been, a 3-game stretch, or it may have been, I didn't play as well, and a tough loss. He'd send me a nice letter, there'll be better days, thinking of you, proud of you, all those things. And he didn't have to do that. And I'm sure that there's other people out there who could say Bart did this for him, or he went out of his way and helped us out, in some sort of way. That's just the type of guy he was. I would guess if there's any, and I don't consider this a negative in any way. If there's one thing you could say that maybe he didn't accomplish was what he had set out to would have been as a head coach.
Right.
And probably the reason for that was he's probably too nice, and I mean that with all due respect. Just a wonderful, wonderful person.
And that's the thing I was out of what you just said, Brett, that I wanted to pull out about just a stellar human being that Bart Starr was, and how he would come up to you when you were just fresh being traded to the team
Right.
from Atlanta, and then about how he would stay along with you. I mean, as it was now obvious in Green Bay that you were in fact the person that this organization had been
Right.
waiting for since Bart. And I wonder how he handled that with you, with handwritten notes. Literally, you would just walk to the mailbox and there'd be a handwritten note or in your locker from Bart Starr, Brett?
Yes, either way, if not both. And he always made it a point when he was in Green Bay, and I'm sure there were times where he, dropped in maybe, to go to the boys' ranch or something where he was not coming over to the facility, where I didn't know he was in town. But I got the impression that every time he was in town, he'd come over and say hello. And he was unassuming. He didn't want any fanfare or anything like that. He just, again, a very humble guy, and not, what about me? And what and along those same lines, that one of the things I'm most proud of is being able to come back to Green Bay as I did, and to be welcomed by the fans the way I was, but to be able to do it with Bart Starr on that Thursday night, the cold and rainy game, and really it was supposed to be a night honoring me, but I really felt like it was a night to honor Bart one last time, and that's one of the great memories that I have of being on Lambeau Field, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to bring that up with you, Brett, and might as well just do that right now. Brett Favre here on the Rich Eisen Show a couple days after the passing of the great Bart Starr. It was moving for me, okay? For me, because I've known you for as long as I've known you, and I knew it was a big night for you to be back in Lambeau Field after what happened, coming back from Minnesota. And it was a big night for you and your family and the Packer family just all come together. And the question was, could Bart Starr make it there? Would his health hold up enough to make it there? And then I turn on the TV and I see him there with you and obviously Aaron Rodgers as well. And I started tearing up. I'm wondering what it was like for you, Brett.
I can't even describe how it felt, and how, as I think back now, I get chill bumps. And what people don't know about that was we actually were going to do it the previous year around the same time, night game, late in the year, and his health was not up to par, and they wanted to plan enough in advance. I was not going to do it at that time unless Bart could do it. I really wanted to do it with him, and so we had planned on doing it the previous year, and his health just was very erratic, and I thought maybe this will never happen. So that season passed, and I want to say that somewhere between the end of that season and the time that he actually was able to make it, he did the stem cell, I think in Mexico, something along those lines, and his health improved, not long term, but long enough to be able to come up and and make an appearance. And we were able to, you know how it is before a game. It's very hectic, and of course, Bart and I are not playing anymore.
Right.
Aaron goes out of his way, and we take this picture. And I knew when we sat down to take that picture that this would be the last time we'd ever do it, and how special a moment that was. That really had sunk in at that point that this will never happen again. And this is an iconic picture, if there ever was one.
Well, I mean, and he had to have known it too. What was he like that night, Brett?
I saw two sides of Bart that night. I saw the old Bart, where he was engaging and seemed to be well aware of what was going on. And then there were times when we were back, prior to the game, trying to get the picture taken, where he was a little bit in and out. And at times I felt like he really wasn't sure what was going on or who we were. But, and so it was kind of mixed emotions. It was sad to see him like that, but also it was, it was a proud moment for me to see him there in person and to be able to one last time. I knew that we were going to be out on on Lambeau Field, and the crowd was going to just cheer, as you would imagine they would for Bart one last time. And I think he really, and I'm sure you remember seeing his face, up close. I mean, you could see that he was like a kid in a candy store, and that was great to see.
Well, Brett, I just wanted to have you on to talk about these memories, and I know it's emotional for you and your family to see the passing of Bart Starr, and it's not just obviously him. We saw Jerry Kramer go in last year. I mean, we're seeing an end of an era in a way, closing.
Oh, a wonderful era, and tremendous players, but more importantly, I'm sure Bart would say the same thing. He doesn't want to be remembered as a great Packer or a great quarterback. There's way more to it than that. And I think we all who know him or think we know him could say, oh, he was much, much bigger, much better than just a football player. He was just a tremendous person. And that's what's most important.
Brett, have a great day, man. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate you chiming in right here on a very moving weekend and remembering and commemorating an all-time great in Bart Starr, brother.
Hey, you're welcome, Rich. And, hey, have a happy 50th birthday party. I don't think I can make it.
Okay, Brett. That's okay.
You'll make mine, right?
Oh, yeah. Just send me that that Evite. I'll look forward to the Evite popping up from the envelope, and I'll be all over that.
Yeah.
You just let me know.
You got it. Always great talking with you, Rick.
Right back at you, Brett. That's Brett Favre, Hall of Famer, right here on The Rich Eisen Show.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.